It's Pop Culture Mondays on Thursdays, and it's me, Brooke.
On Thursdays.
Guys, we're back. It's official. It is July, mid-July. What is it? July 24th. We are back. Really and truly, your favorite weekly pop culture podcast is back. We are fully video. We are fully audio. We are anywhere you listen to your favorite or watch your favorite podcasts. We are back. And I know we had an emergency pod a few weeks ago. It was very political, politics focused, LA, whatnot. But we are back in the regular rhythm of pop culture conversations. What's happening on TikTok? What's happening on the socials across the board? What's happening in the real world that's sort of pop culture-esque? Everything. This has been a week. I mean, every week is a week. That's why we have a newsletter and a podcast. But this past week in particular, there is a lot, and we're going to get into it. But first, I have so many things to say about how excited I am about why we're here. But it is truly thanks. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It is because of Live Nation. It is because of the CEO of Live Nation, Michael Rapino. He's not only one of the greatest CEOs I've ever had the opportunity to work with, he's also an inspiring person in my life. He's taught me so much. He's taught me so much about leadership. And so for those of you new to who I am, my passion is pop culture. I love it. But my real gig is communications. And I work with, or have the privilege of working with, an amazing group of companies, big and small, tech companies, media companies, founder-driven businesses where we help with their strategy around storytelling. And I get to work with some incredible teams. I mean, all of our clients from the history of when I began working in this field have been incredible, but no more so than Live Nation and the incredible team that is there. And I don't even know how I got so lucky, because music is my life. Like, live music to me it's how I got to where I am today. And that's another story for another day. But many people who know me know that I am a rock and roll girl. Some people may have a nickname for me, and that is Penny Lane, whether I'm a Band-Aid or not from Almost Famous. That's for you to determine as you get to know me more. But I love live music. I love rock shows. I love stadium gigs. I love small club gigs. I love live music. And Live Nation is at the core of all live music, and they are artists first. I know some people have issues with Ticketmaster and pricing, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. I just happen to be in the weeds on that. So I know that, and this is what all tech companies say, but they're the platform. So what that means is that Live Nation and Ticketmaster actually don't set the prices for tickets. That is another podcast. That's another story. But I would be remiss if I don't mention, like, oh, how can you talk about pop culture and not talk about the fact that people have a hard time with tickets? Tickets are expensive for anything, movie tickets, concert tickets, sports tickets. And those are set by the movie theaters. Those are set by the venues. Those are set by the sports team. Those are set by the artists. So that being said, Live Nation is an unbelievable group of people. And Michael Rapino, the CEO, has taught me so much. I have been so privileged to work with him. And when I reached out to him, when I realized what it takes to actually make a podcast that's video and that looks good and feels good and can show you all of the TikToks and videos and tweets and everything else that I want to show here, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a budget. And oh my God, I'm nervous, guys. Like, I've done this now for 2.5 years, but video is a different thing. And also this feels elevated. I now have people I'm responsible for, but when I realized it cost money and it took time and it needed like a whole nother level of time and focus to make this podcast, I put together an email, I should say. And I don't know, have you guys had this? Like, I wrote this email 30 times And I like covered my eyes. And then I was like, I can't send it yet. My heart was racing. And the email was to Michael Rapino about this podcast. And I was explaining to him what my vision was, what I was looking for, what it was going to cost. And he was my first person that I thought of. And I put this email together. My heart was racing like it is right now. And I slept on it. It took me a good 24 hours before I sent it. And I'm very good at asking for things on behalf of other people. So asking for things on behalf of my clients, my friends. But for me, I'm not so good. I think that's probably a pretty human thing. I'm really not good at it. So I had so much anxiety. I was overthinking it. I was editing it. And then finally I just said, fuck it. And I sent the note. And the man responded to me in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I saw the email and I was like, oh, it's going to be a no. It's so fast. Like, it's just so fast. And here we are. So his support and belief in me and his whole team there, I'm so grateful. So do me a favor, send some love to Live Nation, send good vibes out. They are making this all happen. And I'm just beyond thrilled. And we'll talk about music here only because when it's popular in the pop culture world at that moment, we'll talk about it, but also because it's my favorite thing. So there we are. But we have a bunch of things to talk about. I mean, so much is happening. To be fair, we're in the time machine. So recording this on Tuesday afternoon, this will come out on Thursday. It's anyone's guess what's going to happen tomorrow. We already had breaking news today, and that is unfortunately Ozzy Osbourne has died. That is 2 stars this week. We had Malcolm Jamal Warner die yesterday. Now, normally I'm not talking about deaths. We have that a lot. I've made it a sort of a rule of engagement, I guess, for my newsletter and then the pod, where I don't really get into people dying. The only celebrity I got really into about their death and then sort of went down memory lane was Betty White, because Betty White, pop culture icon. I mean, Rosen Island, please, let's be clear. But Ozzy Osbourne, pop culture icon, really one of the OGs of reality television. I love that's what he's like. So many people are like, wait, what? Like, hello, Black Sabbath? Yes, I know. But also an OG of reality television and like a Kardashian before the Kardashians. Like his family was the Kardashian family before the Kardashians, right? We were in their world. So it's a big loss. He just performed this unbelievable concert with like every artist known to man, I think just 3 weeks ago, where he was on stage, he was in a chair. It was, I think he had Parkinson's, if I'm not wrong, but he's been ill for some time. And the fact is he's 78, which in this world is not that old. I think 77 or 78. I mean, I have a friend who's in his 80s who just had another kid. So granted, that's a male thing. That's a male privilege. But he's, you know, he was ill for some time. And then Malcolm Jamal Warner, I think only 56. And he died apparently on Sunday to a drowning accident that happened in Costa Rica due to a riptide, and it's tragic. And Theo Huxtable, another person that so many of us grew up with. I saw so many tributes. It's weird. I don't want to be critical, but I mean, let's be clear. We're all slightly critical. I can't tell you how many posts I saw from people who were like, I just lost the person from my childhood. Theo Huxtable was my childhood. Yeah, he was my fucking childhood. He was all of our childhood. This was not singular to you. This is about us. This is about us as a generation. We lost somebody that we grew up with. We lost a brother that was in our lives, not just my life, not just that person's life who talked about it on Facebook, but all of our lives. We were the Huxtables were our family. And that's why like the Bill Cosby scandal was so difficult for us to wrap our heads around, because that was our family. The Huxtables were the people we came to after school. And certainly in my generation, so for us Gen Xers, like Theo was a brother. He was somebody that we looked to. And every time I saw him in another show, I was always like, yes, I am so glad this is a working actor. I'm so glad he was able to parlay that childhood actor world and turn it into something. So we must send our tributes to both Theo Huxtable, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and the Ozman, Ozzy Osbourne. So we have other stuff. Now, this is obviously going to be a Coldplay episode. We're going to have to talk about, and now it's like old news, but I was in Japan. This is a lifelong trip of mine that I have been wanting to go on. I was meant to go April 2020. That got canceled. Then I was meant to go last July. I think it was, end of July, beginning of August. But my dog got diagnosed with cancer and he is in remission now, for those of you who don't know. But I obviously canceled the trip. So the fact that I got to Japan and this is TMI, but I woke up on the morning of July 10th. I was leaving later that morning on a flight directly to Tokyo and my eye was swollen shut. No joke. My eye was swollen shut. And I was like, what the fuck? I took pictures. I sent it to friends. I talked to a doctor. I did an urgent care sort of virtual visit. And the consensus was that it looked to be like a bite. Maybe a spider bit me in the middle of the night, which is like a whole nightmare story. But that was the consensus. And I was like, do I have to cancel this trip? My friends were already on the way to the airport. And I just said, fuck it, I'm going. While I'm really glad I did, things took a real turn on the plane. I took a Benadryl. I had been icing my eye. It got a little better on the plane due to the pressure or whatnot. My eye, it became like a grapefruit. So much so that the flight attendant was like, are we going to have to turn this plane around? Are we going to have to land in like the Hawaiian Islands? Like we were somewhere over the Pacific when I got up to use the restroom and they saw my eye and everybody was freaking the fuck out. I was able to email the hotel in Tokyo to see if they could get a doctor. So when I arrived, I could see a doctor. By the time I got to the the hotel, my eye was it might as well be a cyclops. I needed an eye patch. I needed to do a full Kill Bill like situation where I was wearing an eye patch and I was just going to walk around in Tokyo that way. Doctor was there. He was amazing. And I had a crazy eye infection, like so bad that it actually spread to the other eye by then. So I end up having to be on like a series of antibiotics, eye drops. I talked about it on Instagram. Everybody was invested in like Brooke's eye drama, but I got to Japan. Everything was good. Everything was amazing. If you haven't been to Japan, I could do an entire podcast on it, but that's not why you're here. Though I could talk about it all day long. What happened while I was in Japan was perhaps one of the biggest pop culture stories to take effect, at least in 2025, but really it's going to be one for the ages. We all know it. It's the Coldplay kiss cam scandalo.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
And I knew it was going to have legs, but I'm telling you, people are like, it's the national story. No, this is an international story. When I say people in Japan were asking us about it, that is no exaggeration. I had to go to Lululemon because I ran out of clothes. It was 130,000 degrees in Japan. So you sweat through everything. So it was like 4 outfits a day. So I ran out of clothes. So I went to Lululemon, obviously, to pick up like a sweatshirt, some like t-shirts and other things. And the woman at the counter did not speak great English. So we were using Google Translate. So adorable. And so she, in Google Translate, asked me if I knew the Coldplay couple. Like, I think she just was like, oh, did you know them? Like, I don't know if she really meant, did you know them or did I know of them? But she asked me if I knew the Coldplay couple. And I was like, this is crazy. This girl who's never been out of Japan, she didn't even know. And I was telling her where I'd gone to in Japan. She wasn't familiar with some of the places. She's very, very, very Tokyo centric. Asked me if I knew the Coldplay couple. So it is a story of stories. I want to talk about it because the reason it's so interesting is there's so many layers. There are, first of all, Coldplay. I love them. I do, but it's a band people love to hate. It's a band people love to sort of like Maroon 5, not to say that they're the same, but people love to hate them. I don't know if they're not rock and roll because they're pop, because there's, I can't speak to it. The music is very mainstream. Like Oasis is going crazy right now. Like the Oasis boys are obviously going to tear Coldplay a new one because it's the opposite of rock and roll to them, and doing a kiss cam. Like it's very poppy, if that makes sense. So you have that. Then you have tech executives because they were the CEO or former CEO now and his head of HR. I was just so glad it wasn't the head of PR. Let's be clear, because a lot of the times that's who it is. But it's a tech company. So the former CEO now is of a company called Astronomy, and it's an AI company based in Boston. And people love to hate tech companies right now. Middle-aged, white dudes, white people, rich people, tech people. The memes were just going to automatically come as a result of that. And never, ever have we seen memes like this. But it was also their reactions. I love the memes where there are videos where they're showing, like, this couple is my favorite.
Oh, she's joking. Oh, somebody help us, please.
So this couple is showing you what they would have done if the camera panned on them and they were having an affair, which is the guy, and a lot of people took this take, but the guy all of a sudden is pretending the girl needs the Heimlich maneuver, the Heimlich maneuver. And so starts, pumping her stomach, hoping that she coughs out whatever is stuck in her throat. That would have been like, okay, they could have dodged a bullet on that one. Instead, the dude drops to the floor. Like, he literally drops to the floor. You can't make it up. She turns bright red. Then you have the friend who turns out to be her employee. Well, works for both of them, but she had been a newly hired team member on the HR team for this company. She's like off to the side. And I love the tweets where they're like, I want to hear from her. I want to see her story. She's the one I want to hear from because she knows all. So look, I wrote this in the newsletter. I'm not going to judge. None of us are perfect. I'm the first to say that. It's heartbreaking. For me, I can't help but think about the impact this is going to have on the kids in the families and all that is involved, and the public, level of attention this got is just bananas, which is why the tweets about the wife's lawyers are so funny, like this one. I mean, great. And what about the memes of the camera guy? Because how fucking dark. Like, this guy like zoomed in and found them. And then obviously the meme of the camera guy. Flawless. The Leonardo DiCaprio laughing pose of like, he's this mischievous guy. I think this is from Django. I think that's a screen grab of him from Django. Again, we try not to talk about such things here. Django things. But it's just the gift that keeps on giving. You can't get enough of it. Their reaction, though, really fed it. And then Chris Martin, having no idea what he's tapped into, says the thing that everybody's thinking, but I don't think he really thought that when he's like, either you guys are having an affair or you're the shyest people ever. Ding, 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 ding. They're having an affair. And it is unbelievable. Now, what else is unbelievable is how many friends, and I love all of you, but how gullible everyone is. I myself am gullible. So right after this happened, a statement went viral, seemingly from the dude, that started off very classic statement. And in fact, I was like, okay, good. Takes responsibility, acknowledges the situation, asks for privacy, says he let his team, his family, his wife, everyone down. But then it goes into, but let me point out, this was an insult to me as a private moment was made public. And I was like, this isn't fucking private. You take your side piece to a concert. Everybody has cameras. That is not private. Turns out the statement was fake. He also did a Coldplay quote at the end, which should have been a clear sign that this was a fake statement. Then the wife's statement went viral. And I'm telling you, I just had very good friends just send it to me like, this is amazing. What a strong woman. It's a hell of a statement. In fact, let me read you the statement. Because it is, if this had been a real statement, I would have been pretty impressed. It has come to my attention, and apparently to the attention of half the internet, that my husband, Andrew Byron, has made certain ellipses, choices. So certain ... choices. Public ones, under stadium lights, during a Coldplay concert, a venue not typically associated with infidelity. But here we are. Let me be perfectly clear. I am not issuing this statement in defense nor in heartbreak. I am issuing it in power, in precision, in silk gloves and sharpened wit. I will not be engaging in performative forgiveness, nor am I interested in the optics of, quote, grace, unquote. What Andy has done is not just humiliating, it is banal, common, a man of ambition brought down by his own astonishing lack of imagination. I have retained counsel. I have reviewed holdings. I have reallocated what was once ours into what is now very clearly mine. I am not spiraling. I am ascending. And while Andy may have quoted Coldplay in his statement, I will simply say, when the lights went out, I saw everything clearly. To those who expect tears, I don't cry for clowns. I schedule, I document, I rebuild. This is not revenge. It is refinement. And he will feel it in the silence that follows. I mean, had that been a real statement, spectacular. It's a great statement. It would have been amazing. It is what the movies would have made a statement to be. It's like Reese Witherspoon would have given that final, or I'm sorry. The internet has already chosen the main character for the wife, and that is Nicole Kidman. I don't know what got into me. I don't know where I came up with the Reese Witherspoon when it's clearly Nicole Kidman's show here. This movie was made for Nicole, or let's just be clear, an HBO limited series. She would have written that, and she would have read it while looking out into the sea, drinking a Chardonnay on ice. But this is not a real statement. The wife has not said anything. The husband has not said anything. Nobody has said anything except for the new CEO of the company, whether he's interim or not, who is a former top executive that has been made CEO. Talking about that's now this company has a spotlight on them, that it is now a household name, which it is. Better or for worse, it is a household name. Now, a little bit of tea. I'm going to tell you a little bit of tea. I cannot disclose my sources. I don't know why this hasn't been reported. I'm not going to say the name, but it has been told to me by several sources that this company was in the middle of an acquisition. That is, it was in the middle of being acquired by a very, very well-known big public company that has 3 initials. Take it or leave it. That is the rumor. That is at least what has been told to me. They are in the midst of this acquisition. And this guy nearly derailed the acquisition, so they had to act swiftly. He was expected to make, in these types of things, depending on how big the acquisition is, you're thinking 50 million or more. Personally, this guy was going to get from that acquisition. Gone. Hasta la vista. That money is gone. I can't even imagine. Now, let's be clear. She's married too. However, there is a power dynamic. He is the CEO. I know it takes 2 to tango, but he is the CEO. And back to what I was saying is I don't judge. I feel I am not a perfect woman. I've been in a situation or two where you get caught up in a moment, you have the wrong person throwing the wrong kind of attention at you. And depending where you are in your life, depending on how you're feeling in your life, what you're going through, and we're all going through something, you may be susceptible to that manipulation. You may be susceptible to the charms of somebody who is not appropriate for you, whether they're unavailable, whether they just are a bad person, whether there's a whole number of things. So I want to be thoughtful here because I also have deep empathy for her in a way. I do. I don't know the story, but I've been in that position. I've seen others in that position. It's one where you're sort of, it's like you're on another level of like a dream state, if you will. So I can't speak for their exact situation, but I think there should be some grace. I can't imagine, like, if this were me and you're already going through something so horrifying and then it's on the international stage, literally Politicians are referencing it. World leaders are referencing it. Celebrities are referencing it. Lululemon salespeople in Tokyo are referencing it. It is like, I would just check out. I would like leave and go to a tropical island, never to be seen again. But I have empathy for all of them. This is on a level I've never seen. I don't think any of us have ever seen. And it's going to have another life or two, because eventually there will be a statement, or eventually there will be the interview. And everyone is wondering, like, who is going to get the interview? Are they going to do a traditional route? Like somebody's going to sit down with Gayle King or Anderson Cooper or insert name here. Like, I don't know. Is this a 60 Minutes thing? It doesn't feel that way, right? Especially now. Or is it going to be a podcast? Is it going to be, it's going to be Pop Culture Mondays. Is it going to be Call Her Daddy? Is it going to be Joe Rogan? Is it going to be Megyn Kelly? I mean, Kara Swisher. I don't know. I mean, the potential here is endless. I think it'll probably be more traditional, if at all. I think it'll probably not even be a video. They might do a print interview. But I don't know. The world of media is so different now. Like, there was a playbook for this, and now the playbook could be anyone's guess. It could be anyone's guess. And how are they going to navigate it? Who's going to talk? I think people are going to want to hear from the wife more than the actual couple. But as a communications person, that's just my hunch. Like, it's a get. Or they're going to want the girl. They're going to want the employee, the one who's making, well, this face. Like, somebody's going to be her for Halloween. A lot of people are going to be her for Halloween. The Halloween costumes are going to be amazing. But I do want to talk about some of my favorite memes, because Lord Almighty, they are amazing. I did an AI image. So for those of you who don't read the newsletter, Baby Yoda is our icon. Ours, the royal hour, me, mine. And that is because Pop Culture Mondays, the newsletter, came before the podcast, came during the first Trump administration. Everybody needed an escape. This was when they were, I mean, you think it was bad then, it's worse now, but there are children being locked up in cages. This is not a political conversation, but it was just a time we all needed an escape. And it was also the time that The Mandalorian had just come on. We did not know Pedro Pascal the way that we know Pedro Pascal now. And for those of you who might not know this, Pedro Pascal played the Mandalorian, who you did not see outside of the mask, but for very brief moments. And it was on Disney Plus. So this was not a ubiquitous streaming network as of yet. This was early stages. So people were being confronted with their kids talking about Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda was like the Labubu of today. Was 7 years ago, or however many years ago it was. Everybody all of a sudden was talking about Baby Yoda, wanting Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda was all over Grogu, I should say, but was all over Twitter, was all over Instagram. This is before TikTok. And a lot of people, a lot of my friends who are very successful, busy business women, journalists, CEOs, chief executives of something, and parents, for the most part, were like, why are my kids talking about Baby Yoda? And they came to me because I have neither a big, important CEO role, nor do I have kids, but I have an obsession with pop culture. So they knew that I would know. And I was like, oh, Baby Yoda, do you not know Mandalorian? So I kept finding myself repeating it to people. Then finally was like, can I just put this in a weekly email to you, which turned into a newsletter? And voila, here we are today. Tens of thousands of subscribers. Subscribe if you have not already, popculturemondays.com. But Baby Yoda is the icon. And for the first 6 years, I would literally Google an image. I would say, okay, Baby Yoda wearing a Coldplay t-shirt. And there would inevitably be a picture. Maybe it was like a Coldplay t-shirt that was put on a stuffed animal of Baby Yoda, or somebody had created an image, but I would screen grab it. That's how I got those images. Now, thanks to AI and WordPress, I'm able to literally tell AI what I want. And so this week, I said I wanted a romantic photo of Baby Yoda and Darth Vader holding each other, with Darth Vader standing behind Baby Yoda in a romantic pose while watching a Coldplay concert, and Baby Yoda would be in a Coldplay t-shirt. They put him in a hoodie. I got about 8 renditions before I really liked it. But let me know. You see that? Do you see it? Yeah. They're holding each other. I mean, it's very taboo, very taboo. They hadn't been caught yet, so they were still enjoying each other. And this was the Kiss Cam edition. And I mean, I could have spent 8 hours just curating all the different memes, the memes from TikTok, from Instagram, from Twitter. One of my favorites, though, is there was, I'm just pointing out this one, which is from @DerekNeverFails on Twitter. Picture of Chris Martin. Thanks to this man, our country is united again. Very true. So many people had this take. Very true. Thank you, Chris Martin. Hats off. You brought us together. Says another person, Greg, 18,000 numbers after his name on Twitter. Shout out to Coldplay for bringing the whole internet together for one day. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. Another post from Sono Folly, Ali. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. And it's literally a conniving picture of Chris Martin at the piano. A CEO hates to see this man coming. Then there are memes on top of memes. So all of you guys might remember, it's like the setting of the rich mom in it. She looks rich because the kitchen is ginormous. And she's sitting at like a kitchen counter with 3 very well-dressed children. 2 boys and a girl, and it's all of these sort of like, hi mommy, how did you know how are we so rich? And so this meme was, Mom, how did we get so rich? Your dad hugged an HR lady at a Coldplay concert and I got 50% from the divorce. Boom. Another one, getting caught having an affair with an executive at a Coldplay concert, gotta be top 5 whitest things in history. Correct. Mike Isaac, one of my favorites, journalist at the New York Times. TBH, a Coldplay show is very middle-aged guy cheating on his wife coded. Not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Yeah, she is the one I want to most hear from, and the girl, the employee, truly. Now, this one was in bad taste, but I'm not going to say it was wrong. So it's a 4-square picture of the Coldplay couple, picture of Luigi, picture of the Ocean Gate sub that blew up, and then picture of killer whales. Every summer, fate chooses a CEO for the sacrifice. That's the ritual. If you know, you know. Pretty poor taste. Another poor taste is the Drake meme. If you guys remember that meme. And it's head of HR? Nah. Head from HR? Yeah. Okay, see, listen, I can't always be classy. I try to keep it classy, but they are endless. The Lego kit, my first affair. Can't go wrong. My favorite, though, truly my favorite, is they were superimposed on Splash Mountain. So they're... You know, you get the picture when you're going down Splash Mountain in the roller coaster and the picture, and they're like, they are literally so perfectly together that it looks like they're on Splash Mountain. It's so good. It's just so good. And then the brands got into it. The Phillies baseball team did a kiss cam where they had, you know, made fun of everything. Mr. Beast got into it. Oh my God. But the brands, I mean, so many brands, Ryanair and Coldplay splitting up couples, just like that's what they do. IKEA, HR approved. I mean, guys, when I say it just goes on and on and on. But other things happened. I talked about the fake statements. Something else that went viral, and so many of my friends fell for it. They were like, oh, wow, the daughter's really she's taking her dad to task. This woman came out and she did a TikTok, which is like, to be honest, what a daughter in this situation would have done. And she's like standing in front of a bonfire and she's like, I'm out here dealing with the fact that my dad just had an affair that the whole world knows about. And everyone was like, holy shit, she is roasting her dad. People start following her. She gets hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. People are sharing her TikTok. They're like, this is the new generation. He doesn't have a daughter. He has 2 sons. This girl was a complete fraud. She, I don't think, knew that it would go this viral, but it went viral. And a lot of people fell for it. And it was not very cool, I have to say. But here's a great one of somebody saying Nicole Kidman immediately after seeing the footage of the cheating CEO at the Coldplay concert.
Call HBO and get my weed guy on the phone, because sometimes heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Then, you guys remember the Dixie Chicks? Do you? Some of you might. Some of you might not. Another example of art being canceled due to political statements. But they had a huge hit a number of years ago. My God, I can't believe how long ago it was. I think it was like 15 years ago. Goodbye, Earl. Do you remember? Here's a little video clip of their video. Iconic.
Earl had to die.
So the song is about these 2 best friends from a small town, grew up together. One gets out of the town and goes off to do big things, and one stays behind and marries Earl, who then shortly thereafter starts beating her, and she's abused. And this is all done in this sort of like upbeat, fun song, but starts beating her. She's getting abused. She gets a restraining order. He's ignoring the restraining order. Her best friend comes back. They concoct a plan. They kill Earl. Obviously. So the internet took a piece of that song and with a message to the wife, one of them says, for example, "Dear CEO wife, Megan Byron, there are plenty of Mary Anns." That's the friend who went and killed helped kill Earl. "There are plenty of Mary Anns boarding airplanes to Massachusetts. We got you, sis." Another one said, "Dear CEO's wife, you have plenty of Mary Anns on the internet cheering for you. We got you." More and more of those, but this is one of my favorite ones.
Right away, Mary Ann flew in from Atlanta on a red-eye midnight flight. She held Wanda's hand and they worked out a plan, and it didn't take them long to decide.
Just feel good, you know, despite the sadness that this has got to be invoking. I never get that right. God, I'm sorry. I was an English major. Across the different worlds of these people, it is nice that people are brought together and that they're supporting people in a time of struggle and sadness. But this just goes to show you nothing is private anymore. If you're going to have an affair, do it the old-fashioned way. Get a motel far away. Make sure nobody knows what you're doing. Do not leave a messaging trail. Don't put it on your iMessage, so then when your partner logs onto your iPad, there it does pop up. Don't have a DM situation on Instagram, because we all get into being able to track that shit. Just have a time and a place, maybe get an old-fashioned pager, go to a motel, do whatever you need to do, come back, get it out of your system, be done with it. Don't be taking side pieces to Coldplay concerts. They're literally it's 2025. Even if you didn't get on the kiss cam, you were being filmed by all of the people around you. Somebody is going to be like, "Wait a minute, that's my boss. Wait a minute, that's my friend's dad. Wait a minute, that's my friend's husband." Just like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. We've made dumb decisions, all of us, but if you're going to have an affair, be smart about it. Come on, guys. It's like, go to an Oasis concert at the very least, because they've already told you you're safe there. They're not going to call you out. And some of the country stars, they were like, "We got you. Bring your side piece to us." I mean, it is sort of funny and not funny, but I feel like we're going to still be talking about this next week. We are all waiting with bated breath for what's to come, right? But I do want to talk about, like, this is a good segue, because I'm going to be a little contrarian here. Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert. The show's been canceled. And I loved the Colbert Show. I love Stephen Colbert. I do. I am also not somebody, though, who's watching late night television. I watch my late night television like a majority of us, and that is on TikTok. They still get, I mean, I don't know why they have not figured out a monetization strategy, because they're getting awareness. I'm watching full clips on TikTok from the Colbert Show, but that's how I watch my content now. I'm in my 50s. That's how the kids are watching it. So they're not turning on, they don't even have televisions. They're not watching network television. So I understand this being a dying sort of moment, this late night world. But and I also understand the belief system that this was politically motivated by Paramount. I understand. I understand why, the woman who owns Paramount at this time is a big Trump supporter, just made a settlement with Paramount and the Trump administration. She is looking to sell the company. I know all those people involved. I have nothing but nice things to say about the people that are buying the company. But I don't know if it would be just politically motivated. I also think the reason that it was financially a financial decision, a strange one as well, if they hadn't been told, like, hey, you have 6 months to figure out the financial situation or you're gone, rather than just like canceling the show, which is beloved and popular, whatnot. And if they're losing $40 million a year, if that's real, then I understand that conversation. But I also would understand that they would have gone to the powers that be at the show and say, here's the situation. You got 6 months to figure this shit out. But they apparently didn't do that. I am going to say this. I'm going to say something. Two things, actually. One, they had 200 people working on that show. And I know Joe Rogan got into this. Why? Why do you need 200 people? I'm not saying they shouldn't have jobs or whatnot, but it shouldn't take 200 people in this day and age to make a show. It shouldn't. It just shouldn't. I mean, you could do it for a third of that, if not maybe an eighth of that amount of people. I understand, and there's probably unions and all of this stuff. If that's the issue, then there's no show that's going to be successful, because in this day and age, when, like, just think, I'm sitting here in my office. It's just me and my dog who's asleep in the bed and some equipment, and I'm putting out my own show. Like, imagine it takes 200 people to put that. Those are writers, producers. I understand it's probably like the crew, all of the people on the set, but we're not in that world anymore. Like, technology has made things much more efficient. I'm sure it's unions, blah, blah, blah. I can't get into that conversation. Another thing I'm going to say, and this is where I'm going to get a little dicey. And I hate when I'm very, very middle of the road, probably liberal in many ways. But when I see a group of people acting sort of sanctimonious and entitled, it turns me off. I'm allergic to it. And this attitude that happened. So we're, again, filming Tuesday. Monday night, the Colbert Show had a big studio audience of supporters. And we see a couple of clips in a minute. I'm going to show you. But it was sort of late night supporters and friends. So you first have the rant, fuck you, Donald Trump, go fuck yourself, this and that. That's not my words. Those are the words of the show. But then you pan into using the Coldplay kiss cam joke being introduced to us by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Weird Al Yankovic. You then have a series of people there to support Stephen Colbert. And I'm just going to read the names to you, and then I want you to just sit with it for a minute. So you just had Weird Al Yankovic and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Then the rest of the cast of characters of people in the audience supporting their friend Stephen Colbert. John Oliver, Jon Stewart, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, and the Happy Gilmore cast, the Dudes. Adam Sandler, the Dudes. were there no vaginas available? I mean, was there not a vagina to be found in all of the fucking comedy world? Is there not one female that could have been like throw me into that gang? There was also, it was all white men except for Lin-Manuel Miranda, so they had him. I honestly was like, honestly, go fuck yourself. Like, as a woman who appreciates comedy and intelligent comedy and people calling truth to power, I was like, did you guys did you just miss that? Is this like, are you so in your, I don't need to see Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen and the bro Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and all the people who used to do Blow with back in the 90s. Let's be clear. I don't like, what is going on? What was the judgment call there? Like, maybe that's why you guys aren't surviving. Maybe this sort of like middle-aged, white, privileged male dude world is like come to an end. Like, where are we represented? Where are the women? Where are the people of color? Where is the Gen Z? Where are millennials? Like, it felt so, you guys are so sanctimonious and you think you're smarter and better than everyone. And that's what came across in these moments from the show last night. Maybe I'm not, and this isn't me being woke or overly sensitive. It's just like so obvious. Like, it's like, okay, great, boys, go. The only thing missing was John Mayer, to be perfectly honest. Like, go on a boat somewhere in the Mediterranean and do like fucking kamikaze shots, boys. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but like, don't take us along for the ride. I'm Godspeed, like, over and out. We hear you. It is a sausage fest, but just like, look at this. So that's my 2 cents. Like, and I now am getting to the point of like, first of all, their kiss cam thing, it was so uncomfortable. It wasn't even funny. Like, these are supposedly the top comics and they're not even funny. It took 200 people to write that shit. No. When these people on Twitter and TikTok who have zero staff, zero writing teams, zero budget are a hell of a lot funnier and a hell of a lot more biting and cutting than any of this shit that came out last night. So Jon Stewart dance with like singing people in the back. Like, I'm over it. Like, bring out, like, where was Rachel Maddow? You could have had some of these people, like, bring out some vaginas, guys. Like, bring out some people of color. Bring out the world for which we are part of, as opposed to just rich white dudes. I don't know. I'm just on a rant, but I hated it. Like, I'm like, great. This is why I watch Law and Order at 11 o'clock at night and not late night. I will watch a Law and Order episode, SVU, that I've seen 384 times. I know every word by heart. I could play all the different characters. I will watch that before I watch a late night episode. That's it. That's my rant. That's it. True story. And if you think I'm being cunty, I am. And I am being that way because that is the word of the moment. And I just want to say I am grateful because this has long been one of my favorite words. As an Anglophile and somebody that's lived on and off in London over the years, it is a word that is used with reckless abandon in the UK in the best of ways. You know, like, hey, you can't get over here. It is not a derogatory term towards women. In the US, it was used as a derogatory term towards women, and it's now being taken back. Not just by women, but by the youth, by people who are using it as a sign of empowerment. And if you don't believe me, believe Pedro Pascal, because he breaks it down perfectly in this interview that he was in with Vanessa Kirby, this Australian journalist. Asked, have we seen this Australian journalist before? She's not the one who was talking about. I think she was somebody that did something on the Wicked tour. But anyway, she asked Vanessa Kirby about cunty face, and Vanessa's like totally horrified. And our boy Pedro sets her straight.
Jumping right into you, Vanessa, you've kind of become a social media icon for your force-filled, snatched, cunty fierceness face.
Oh God.
How did you come about to go into that force field? It's a good thing. It's a
Is
good
it?
thing.
Oh
It's a
my
good
God.
Cunty
thing.
face is good, babe.
What's that from? Sunglasses, maybe.
Cunty face just means fierce,
Does it mean like?
fabulous,
Does it?
beautiful, strong.
Strong,
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
independent.
Promise.
He's right. Cunty face it's about being fierce. It's about being strong. It's good, babe. I promise. It's good, babe. So this is a term that Gen Z loves. And I have to say, like, I gave all my friends socks that say cunty on them. I have a Bella Freud sweatshirt that says hello cunty. I wore it today out in public. I actually wore it to the Paramount lot where I was visiting some people. And I think 6 months ago, I didn't even wear it walking the dog. But now I'm like confident. I'm confident that there will be some people that will be shocked and offended. But for the most part, people are like, yeah, girl. Yeah, they are Pedro Pascal. That is fierce. You are fierce. You love that word. But the Gen Z kids across the board, they love it. They love it. It is, I love how there's some words that have been taken and turned bad, right? Like woke was never a negative word. Woke was a word. It's like you're aware, you're self-aware, you're aware of your surroundings, you're sensitive to the moment, has been turned into a bad word. Whereas, guess what? Okay, fine. You get that. We get cunty. We get cunt. We've taken a bad word that my mother would have washed my mouth out with Ivory soap and probably some scented like Irish Spring. Ooh. But we now take ownership of that word. And when I say we, I'm talking about Gen Z, but I'm just pretending. We are allowing them to take ownership of that word and make it a cool word and make it fun. Another Gen Z thing that we talk about in the newsletter this week, and I was getting asked a lot about it from friends who have Gen Zers as kids, but the Gen Z stare.
The Gen Z stare is the real thing. It's so real. Hi, I'm so sorry. That class is fully booked. There's no spot available. Yeah, no, it's fully booked. There's no spot available. It's fully booked. I can't put you in that class. It's fully booked.
My reenactment is this. I am at a Starbucks and you guys ask for a skinny vanilla sugar-free latte. And I look at them. Okay, what size? And they say tall. Or they say medium. And I say grande. And they say medium. And I say grande. And they say medium. And I say grande. That's the Gen Z stare. I just stare at them. And then I do sort of a side, sort of like a half eye roll. Gen Z stare. And it's warranted. I think for the most part, it's warranted. What I love is there's an actual, thanks to ChatGPT, definition as to where they think, or like an explanation of how the Gen Z stare came to be. And I'm going to read it to you. The Gen Z stare refers to a blank, expressionless, or vacant gaze often observed in members of Gen Z, particularly in social and customer service settings, and it has sparked debate about its underlying meaning and implications for communication. While some perceive it as rudeness, disinterest, or a lack of soft skills, experts and Gen Z individuals suggest it can also be a coping mechanism, a response to overwhelming situations, a form of passive resistance to perceived illogical questions or mistreatment, or manifestation of challenges in navigating in-person interactions after growing up with pervasive technology and pandemic-related isolation. You're welcome. Now, that's a lot, but I actually don't disagree with that. I think there's a lot to be said. Now, I do think it's funny that they think it's like, it's an illogical question. I feel like the Starbucks person is asking the illogical question when a customer says medium and the Starbucks person is adamant that you have to say grande. Like, I have been in that situation where the person will not serve me until I say the words grande. I feel I'm the one as the customer that is being treated poorly, but that's neither here nor there. They're rules, I suppose. So I will say, I love that the definition is it's suggesting that it's a coping mechanism, a response to overwhelming situations, a form of passive resistance to perceived illogical questions. That leads us to our next trend, and then I'm going to end because I've been talking endlessly. So there's this trend going around using this song, Do You Have Any Kids? And what it is somebody made a song so people will post all the time like crazy conversations they had on like Hinge or Tinder or things like that. So one of these was this woman talked about how she was asked by a guy if she had any kids. She said, I do. Yes, I have one daughter. How about you? And he's like, well, can I ask how many baby daddies do you have? And she's like, I have one daughter. And he's like, I understand, but like, how many fathers do you have? How many dads do they have? And she's like, I have one daughter. And they even, so it's like ... and they even sing ellipses. So listen to the song.
You have any kids? Yes, I have one daughter. How about you? How many baby daddies do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Ellipses. I have one daughter. I understand that is he by the same father. I have one daughter. I understand that is he by the same father. I don't understand.
It's so good. I mean, it's so, so good. And so then what happened is, so people started playing that and like lip syncing to it. But then what people started doing was taking their own experiences while that song is playing, their own experiences and like a really bad question that they experienced. So for example, you have this woman who is a lesbian and is being asked if she is potentially, could she be pregnant? She goes to the doctor and she's like, no, because I'm a lesbian. And it's like, well, but could you be pregnant? No. I mean, yes, of course, a lesbian could be pregnant, but she's being very clear. But this is my favorite because I think this is so relatable. This is a couple. Woman is very pregnant and she talks about feeling so fat. And then it pans to her husband who's like, well, you're heavily pregnant. And then that leads to the inevitable, wait, so you think I'm fat? And he's like, you're heavily pregnant. And she's like, I understand that. So you're calling me fat? It's so good. Just watch it. It's so good.
You have any kids? Yes, I have one daughter. How about you? How many baby daddies do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Ellipses. I have one daughter. I understand that is he by the same father. I have one daughter. I understand that is he by the same father. I don't understand.
For those of you just listening, you're going to hear the song again, but you'll just have to go to YouTube and watch us. So I just think this is a great example of the creativity and nuance that the kids on TikTok have today. And it's something that builds on something else. So first it was this thing that went viral about this conversation that people had, a real life conversation that somebody had with a guy who couldn't understand what's so confusing about a question about how many baby daddies you have when you only have one kid, and then leads to people taking it to the next level. And then some of it is serious. Some people are actually sharing really serious diabolical conversations they've had with people, their bosses, their doctors, their in-laws, and then others like this couple about being fat are having fun with it. So bravo once again to the TikTok community. I love you. It's great. There are so many other things I could talk about. I do want to say one of the things I did before I left for Japan was go see F1 in the movie theater. And I know it's like a silly sports movie. It's fully cliche. It's like Days of Thunder, but with Brad Pitt instead of Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise was young, starting out in like, and he was like the young, new hotshot race car driver. And now fast forward 20 something years, 30 years, maybe it's 30 years. And it's Brad Pitt. And it's like, this is the end for him. And he is not a spring chicken. And that's the whole point. I loved it. It was fun. Too many product endorsements in this movie. Is made by Apple. Like, it was so crazy. It wasn't just Apple. It was like the Ninja products that you have in your kitchen. They were everywhere unnecessarily, but like unrealistic that Brad Pitt, who is this sort of OG race car driver whose whole premise of the show, of the movie, was that he doesn't use this newfangled technology that the kids are doing. Like, if you're going to be fit, you're going to go and run. You don't need to be in a state of the art locker room or gym, whatnot. And you don't need to be tied up to all these things. Just go out for a run and do things with like balancing balls and stuff like that. At the same time, he was married to his AirPod Pro Max, whatever, and wore them in the bathtub, like in an ice plunge, which they're not waterproof. Like, there were just things like that that annoyed the fuck out of me. Salesforce, Workday, all of the tech companies, enterprise software companies were like all over this movie advertising. That annoyed me, but the movie itself was fun. Also, something else that I'm doing in the pop culture world, which I find I'm always doing when somebody dies, but do you guys remember that amazing actor? He's Australian, and his name was Julian McMahon. He starred in that show, which was Ryan Murphy's first show, which I didn't realize this, more than 20 years ago, Nip Tuck. And Julian McMahon played the beautiful, very, very horny plastic surgeon. And he and his partner had a plastic surgery practice. I mean, there is so much sex in this show. It's unbelievable. And he was the most vibrant character I have remember ever seeing. Like, he was hot, always having sex. Always. Like, this man was a total slutty slut. He died. I don't think they've come out with what it was. It was cancer. To me, it looks like pancreatic cancer. He was also only like 55, 56. Obviously, it was a brutal death because he was very gaunt at the end, and it was very sad. But that inspired me to go back and reminisce with Nip Tuck. And this show, I can't recommend it enough to go back. Like, it's revolutionary. Like, it's so commonplace now, but this is Ryan Murphy's first show. And so it deals with, it's gross. There is like some horror aspects to it, especially the surgery they get in there. The soundtrack, you can see as they get more and more popular, they get more and more rights to music. So the music set list is insane. Like, it's insane. It's every amazing song from like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It's great. I highly recommend going back and rewatching Nip Tuck. I just downloaded it all from Apple. It's all there. So that's it, you guys. It's been a thrill to be back. I really want to thank Ethan, my new producer. He's been incredible, and we'll only get better. We'll only have more fun with setup and technology. But each week, we'll always have so much to talk about because there's just so much content. But if you guys have anything you want to talk about, hit me up on Instagram. I'm really, really vocal on Instagram. I'm at Brooke, Brooke, on Instagram. You can also email me. I'll put the email address in the show notes, but it's subscribe@popculturemondays.com. You can email me there and tell me anything that you want me to talk about, any content that you guys, I hate that word. I should really scratch that word because it's such a terrible word. Movies, shows, YouTube, people, personalities, anything that you guys are really particularly interested in or passionate about, hit me up. I want to hear. And I will catch you guys next Thursday. I can't believe it. We're getting back into the routine. And stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll